Hey people, Sleepy Reader here, Damien. I've been away for close to a week for Thanksgiving, ate way too much food, had a really good time in Pocatello, Idaho, where some of my wife's relatives live. So that was really great, but I haven't read many comics, and I hadn't got to go to my comic book shop for quite a while. So I went today, Monday, to pick up last Wednesday's comics, and they were still having a Black Friday sale. It went through Monday, I guess, to compete with Cyber Monday also. So I thought, well, I'll look at a few back issues. Maybe I can pick up a few. And I ended up getting an outrageous random stack of back issues. All stuff, so it was 50% off the sticker price. For me, all stuff that seemed cheap enough to me for something I wanted to read. So if there were two issues, one with good condition, one in bad, I would take the bad one. But I thought it might be interesting for you guys to see what I got, for those of you who enjoy hauls. So let's see. There's the whole stack of back issues. I also got, actually they also just had the regular shelf comics, from the past few months on sale for 50% off. So at $2 a piece, I decided to give Asgardians of the Galaxy a shot. So I got issues, well, that's issue 2. Issues 1 through 3 I got. All these covers look kind of similar, I guess. Maybe it's the color schemes. So there's issue 3. I'm not sure what the concept between Asgardians of the Galaxy is. I like that play on words. I'm a big Thor Asgard fan, so maybe this will be good. It's Colin Bunn, who I love on his indie comics, and I haven't ever really clicked with any of his big 2 comics, but we'll see. We'll give this a try. I'll give this a try. Superman, which I had dropped. I had dropped at issue 3, so I picked up 4 and 5. I was just kind of curious to see if Bendis could turn a corner for me at this lower price. While I'm at it, I'll show you my comics from last Wednesday that I got. So, High Heaven from Ahoy Comics. Black Hammer number 7, which isn't really Black Hammer number 7 because it's the second Black Hammer series, but it's all one continuous story. I think we get some more, of more Peter Tommaso art. New World number 5. I now see this is being listed as a 6-issue miniseries. I'm really bummed. I hope they planned it as a 6-issue miniseries. If it just had really bad sales, that's really sad because artistically, this is one of the best books out there right now. Lucifer number 2. I'm very curious to see where this book is going. It's by some novelist who hasn't written comics before. Captain Ginger number 1 and number 2. I'm a bit confused as to what's going on with my Ahoy comics, but anyway, I'm glad I'm getting them. Justice League Dark number 5. The Nightmaster returns and he's not welcome. I'm really into Justice League Dark, so I'm psyched for that. Savage Dragon. I never know what's going to happen in each issue of Savage Dragon, but usually having fun with that. Sideways number 10. I'm way behind on my reading of Sideways. I've loyally been buying it, but I hear this is canceled with issue 13. Damage. I am caught up with reading Damage. It's not very good, but I keep buying it anyway. I don't know. I kind of like it in some weird, twisted way. Love and Rockets. I'm actually behind in my Love and Rockets reading, even though this doesn't come out very often. So I need to figure out where I put my other issues of Love and Rockets and sit down and have a Love and Rockets day, so to speak, or afternoon. Okay, on to the random back issues. So at half price, I figured this was a Neal Adams cover I couldn't pass up. I don't know if there's Neal Adams art on the inside, but to me, this is kind of a classic Neal Adams scary Batman Gothic cover. I love the Gothic Batman. Oh, that's this one. So this is Kazar, or Kazar, as I prefer to say, co-starring Spider-Man. Number 3. I don't know if this is original material or reprint material in here. It wasn't very expensive. It does, so yeah, it was for me $3.50, and at least it presents, as people now like to say, in pretty good condition. I'm also wondering who that cover's by. Maybe it's Herb Trimpe. It doesn't quite look like Jack Kirby, but it does have some writing and some kind of oil pencil right there. Not sure what it says, like 1077L, or maybe 1027. Anyway, this must be from the 60s, I'm sure. Oh, crap. Okay, here's one I shouldn't have bought. I thought I was paying $10, half of $10. I thought it was $5. And at $5, a Magnus Robot Fighter seemed like a fun thing, although sometimes you can find it in dollar bins. But this was frickin' $22. Crap. Ouch. $11. I also paid kind of high for this, in my opinion. The Astonishing Ant-Man in Marvel Features. But I have a weak spot for this. I realized that this Herb Trimpe drawn Ant-Man was one of my really early comics. I'd forgotten until I bought another issue a while ago of this. I'd forgotten that I read these really early on in my comic book reading career. Maybe even, it couldn't have been before that Neil Adams Avengers that I read, but right after, and I'd forgotten that was... I thought Captain America... Anyway, it doesn't matter, but I had a different memory. I have a message from my wife. Oh, okay, something about the car. And then I've got some Doctor Stranges, which I presume... They have John Brunner covers. I assume they have interior art by Brunner. I have some of these and not all of them. I did check my CLZ app to get ones I didn't already have. Although this one looks very familiar. Could I have not put it in my CLZ app, or just remembering owning it as a kid, perhaps? So that was Marvel Premiere 13 and 12. I showed them in the wrong order. But I presume it's Englehart and Brunner. Liberty Legion for $2. I just bought this because it had a Jack Kirby cover, basically. I'm not sure what I'll find inside, but I know it won't be Jack Kirby, unless it's a reprint. And this one also has a Jack Kirby cover. I really like this cover. It's kind of a really wacky layout when you think about it, all the stuff going on, but it still somehow works. Jack Kirby's kind of the it still somehow works artist, isn't he? And I've been collecting any old Submariner I could get a hold of. I didn't know Submariner was in Marvel Spotlight at some point. Death is the Symbionic Man. I wonder if that's a reference to the Bionic Man, the $6 Million Man. This is that era where he's wearing that funny costume, but I guess, he has a right to wear more clothes. For $5, I couldn't resist this. This is a great cover. It looks like Jack Kirby inked by Vince Coletta. The Purple Man. So I assume it's a reprint of the first Purple Man appearance, plus some other reprints. But I love these things. Yeah, my iPhone is mad at me for not tapping on the message. Okay, this was really cheap, so I knew there was something wrong with it. But in my rush, I didn't notice the big X on the cover. So, anyway, sorry for that. I'm being distracted by my cell phone. But I have trouble resisting Tarzan comics when they're cheap, or in this case, Korak, Son of Tarzan. And I can't resist, or it's very hard to resist, Joe Kubert covers also. More of those to come. And I just continually buy House of Mystery comics when they aren't too expensive. This is a kind of a cool cover. It almost looks Jack Kirby-ish, but I know it's not. Who did that cover? There's some kind of signature. Could this be a Joe Orlando cover? I'm not sure. Was he still around in the 40-cent era drawing covers? It looks, the signature looks like Orlando to me. Huh. So that was House of Mystery number 272, and this is number 282 by Joe Kubert cover. Not really one of the best Joe Kubert covers I've seen, but one of the House of Mysteries I don't have. Speaking of classic Joe Kubert, this is a pretty crazy cover. Special issue of G.I. Combat number 140. Must be from, I would guess, 1970 or 1969 by the price. But that's a kind of a crazy looking cover. Okay, where was I? I just shown you this crazy G.I. Combat cover. And here is a giant size, 64-page Combat, G.I. Combat, with, I guess, some kind of flaw in the cover, but otherwise looks pretty nice. So anyway, sorry, with more Joe Kubert cover. And this one is a really good Joe Kubert cover for G.I. Combat number 143. Is the main thing in G.I. Combat the Haunted Tank? I have not read a Haunted Tank story yet, so I'm interested. Whoa, I got more G.I. Combat than I realized. Here's another one. Oh, an even grimmer and more powerful Kubert cover. G.I. Combat, again from the 70s. I mean, sorry, from the 69-70 period. 142. Okay, this is a really beat-up cover of Doctor Strange, but I love this drawing. Is that a Marie Severin drawing? I really like it a lot. I like the colors too, but it's very beat up, but it didn't cost me much money. And, whoa, it's more beat up than I realized. I got to look closer at these things, but I'm always shopping in a rush. So yeah, maybe I don't mind creases and beat up, but I don't like a hole in the cover, especially right there, so I'm kind of bummed about that. I just pulled these out of my backpack, so this is the first time I've looked at these after purchasing them. I have the issue right after this with wonderful Dan Atkins art. It's Astonishing Tales featuring Kazar. So I'm assuming this issue will have Dan Atkins art also. But never, either way, I would have bought it, but especially at this price. Looks pretty yellowed and beat up, which explains the price, because I only paid $2.50 for it. Let's see. Gil Kane art. Hey, that's even better than Dan Atkins. The only sad thing about Gil Kane is he didn't get to do as much interior art because he was doing so many covers. I guess Stan Lee just noticed that covers by Gil Kane always sold more, so he gave him all the cover assignments. Which is probably, you know, I assume the case with Joe Kubert and the case with Jack Kirby, so that's why those guys are, and of course Neil Adams, so that's why those guys are so well known for their covers. And then I like these 60s and 70s Action Comics, and I don't know if they'll ever get around to reprinting them in omnibuses. If they do, then maybe I would sell off all the Action Comics I've been buying, Action and Superman, from this classic Curt Swan era. But mostly I see them reprinting early Silver Age. I don't think they've even gotten to that. They've just been doing Golden Age Superman, which doesn't interest me as much. So yeah, I grab these when I can get them at an affordable price. So this one would have been $4.50. They're always ridiculous. Things are backwards on my screen, so I can't read them to you while looking at the screen. Please, Superman, you've got all the money in the world. Help these poor people. Stay back. I've got a reason for destroying them. Plus, Requiem for a Hot Rod. Oh, and up here it says Superman Midas of Metropolis. Now, I love even more the Lois Lane issues from this era. Those are just totally awesome. Stuff I hated as a kid, but I just love now for their cheesiness. What's this one say? I'm 100,000 years old and mightier than ever. Even kryptonite chains can't hold me anymore. Everyone I've ever known or loved is long dead. When will I die? Never. Our tests show you can't die, Superman. The immortal Superman. Plus Superman and the Legion of Superheroes. So a lot of these had 2 short stories, which probably each one takes longer to read than a modern comic now. And here we go with another one. These are all, what are they, 15 centers, so they're all, again, from 69-70. Superman meets Super Houdini. I must save your father. No, no, don't help. You gave your word. Plus, the day Superboy became Superman. Now, that's a key moment. That could be a key issue. Okay, this is the only Action Comics that I paid a little more than I would have liked to because I just loved this cover. So I paid, what, $5.50 for it at the half price. Wanted for sabotage and murder, the wearer of this uniform. Caution, costume has weird powers. And Superman says, I swear I know nothing about that diabolical costume. And what might be Perry White or might be someone else says, you're lying, Superman. The fluoroscope shows you're wearing that costume under yours. Featuring the forbidden costume. Could not resist that one. So that's my haul. Maybe I'll read a few of these in the next week and give you my thoughts on them along with thoughts on more recent comics. So often the stores around here have 50% off sales on their comics on their back issues that I almost never buy back issues except on the 50% off sales. But then as you can see, I end up kind of buying the back issues in a big rush until 3 months later there'll be another 50% off sale. Although I bet Excalibur will have like a New Year's Day sale or something along those lines. I point that way because Excalibur is 5 blocks that way. Cloud9, where I bought these, is about 10 blocks that way. So yeah, I'm cursed with too many comic book stores. Talk to you all later.